All right. Well, welcome to finally another episode of Out and About with Trev. It's been a while since I put one up. It's just been tricky. As I mentioned in the previous episode, I had overheating problems with the Suby, and I had to replace the water pump, which was an interesting project. I thought I had it fixed, and I'll get onto that in a little later as to what's going on. I headed away over Christmas. Had a great trip. I was out in the Buckland Valley. I was out there. It was awesome. It was a bit of a special spot. People would have watched the channel will know that I've mentioned a few times that over the years I've been working on a book or a big story that hopefully be in a book or a series of books. And I was actually camped at exactly the same campsite as I was over a decade ago, where the very first spark of this story came in my head, and it was a difficult time. I was in a very dark place, and effectively was out there looking at which tree I was going to hang off or swing from, and I just had enough. And this crazy story started in my head, and I started playing with this thing, and I started playing with it, and then I played with it a bit more, and then I wasn't thinking about swinging from trees, and then I was like, maybe I'll just keep going. And then one night, there's a part of the story and it sent a chill down my spine, and I was like, maybe I should start writing some of this shit down. So that's how it all started. And there's a bit of a story because I worked on it right through. I got housed in 2013. So that was back at the start of 2008 when I started the story. I sort of worked on it. 2009, I come to Melbourne, worked on it a bit more. Got into a house in 2013 and thought, right, it's time to really start pushing this thing. And then what actually happened was in 2014 I lost the password, and I couldn't work on it, and I basically turned my back on it. People that have watched my channel will know I went and did some other amazing things, lots of bushwalks. I did all sorts of studying. I did lots of cool stuff, and I basically turned my back on it. And we jumped forward until the start of 2023 when I got bundled out of the house in Reservoir, and that was a bit of a tough time. But actually what came out of it was actually a very positive thing, because I found the password, and I was able to get into it, and there was the story. Then I moved into a new house at Keysborough. I was only there for 2 months, and I got kicked out. And then I was out at Kirthkiln Regional Park. It was one of my first nights. Well, I'd only been in maybe a week. I'd been in the rooftop tent. I was looking for a memory stick one night, and I actually found the password again. So the last few months have been very exciting, as I've been able to do lots of writing. Being out bush has been great for the writing. It's let me be in a nice clear space, or the head in a clear space. I've been able to really get into it. Had some talks with publishers and different people, and looked at just what's happened. The landscape of publishing has changed in the decade since I started writing the thing to now. But it's all very exciting, and I'll get onto a bit more about just where the book's at in a minute. What I might do is just backtrack just a little bit about my trip. I did do my trip at Christmas. I just got a new 75 litre fridge freezer, and it worked amazing, or it works amazing. I've got a 160 watt solar panel, I've got a 120 amp hour battery, and it all works. I was able to have super dupers on hot days, but more importantly I was able to have sausages and hamburgers and steak and chicken fillets and all sorts of things, and that really works, and it's a great package, and I'm really impressed with it, and it changed my whole existence. It was amazing. Because that worked so well, I actually decided that there was another trip I wanted to do, which was to go all the way to Canberra. I've been wanting to go to the end of the Australian Alps walking track. I got there, had some issues with the car overheating, and it all goes back to the water pump issue, but anyway. This is the end of the Australian Alps walking track. I did do the trip up there. I come down through New South Wales, down through Kosciuszko National Park, limped across Mount Hotham back to Bright. I spent 4 days. Here's a helipad I spent 4 days at. This is near Cooma. But it was pretty cool. I went to some cool spots. Still having overheating issues with the car. I limped down to over Mount Hotham, down to Bright, or down to Smoko campsite, camped there. And I decided to go out the Buckland for another week. I'd loaded up with food. I thought, let's go out there for another couple of weeks and then we'll see what happens. And on the way out to the Buckland, I got all the way out, nearly to the campsite, and the engine basically stopped. I've got serious problems with it now. It won't run. It's completely shot. I was able to limp down to Bright, and then I limped down to Bright and limped out to Smoko. Was out there for another couple of weeks. And I was trying to come back into Bright one last time, and the thing is it's completely shot. So it just stopped on the side of the road. Had to get a mate of mine. Thanks very much to a good mate of mine, Cameron, who came out and towed me into Bright. That was awesome. And that's where the car is. So the car's sitting in Bright, and you may wonder where I am. And well, I had commitments down here in Melbourne, some work commitments. So I had to come down on public transport. So you get a train from Bright to Wangaratta, and then you get a train from Wangaratta to Melbourne. Thankfully, I had a mate of mine who's let me crash at his place for a few weeks, and that's making all that work. And it's enabled me to do some research and sort of try and work out what my next moves are. My next plans with the car are I'm going to hire a four-wheel drive and a tandem trailer. Unless someone out there wants to, help me out. If they own a four-wheel drive, I'll put in for petrol and things like that. But I've got to get a four-wheel drive and a tandem trailer so I can go up, pick up the Suby. I've got another friend who will let me park it in their front yard. So they're out of Cockatoo, and they'll let me park it out there. So I've got to get it there, and then I can work on it, take the engine out. I've got all the gear to do that. So once I get it down there, I can take the engine out and find out exactly what's wrong. I've got a cracked head, so I'm up for new heads, new head gaskets, things like that. And then I should be back on the road. I've got to get a new radiator because it cracked the top of the radiator as well. Check this out. This is a video just to show how bad things are. So you get a compression in the line. So I've got a cracked head. If you uncap your radiator and start it, it'll bubble a little bit. But check this out. That's not a normal. That's throwing water a long way. So that shows just how much pressure was in there. It actually, all the lines held, all the hose clamps held, and actually it's cracked the plastic top of the radiator, which is pretty impressive. So everything else held, but yeah, that I would have rather a hose go, but anyway, there you go. And it's probably designed that way, so maybe, I don't know, that's interesting. I would think they would make it so the hose would go before the radiator, but $20 hose versus a $150 radiator. But anyway, so that's where it's at. But I have, in my time down here in Melbourne, I've had some work commitments, earn a little bit of money here and there. But the other big thing I've done is I've been able to research just as soon as my car broke, I thought, time to get my book out. And I've already decided to split it up into a series. And what I'm really excited about is I talked to a couple of people about getting publishing done, and that was tricky and costly. But another friend said, why don't you release it in digital format for Kindle? And I looked into that. And I've been working on that and spent the last couple of weeks just really tweaking it. And I'm very proud to say that today is part one, book one of the Shahari Menace by this guy is available on Amazon, and it's been released, and you can go and buy it. If you don't have a Kindle, and I've recently bought a Kindle, so I've got a nice, if you're going to write science fiction, you may as well have a nice space cover. Check that out, It's not too bad. And if we open up the Kindle, there we go. And there's actually my book in my Kindle. So it's available. You can get it for Kindle. You can also read it on your phone, and you can read it on a computer. There's apps, so it's all part of it. So check that out. And I think it's reasonably priced. And if anyone's thinking, how can they help me out? Well, I'll tell you how you can help me out right now is you can buy my book, tell your friends to buy my book, and that would really help me out because it's going to cost me a bit to hire a car to go get the trailer to get my car, and it's going to cost me a bit to fix my car, and that's a whole other story, and then I'll feature that on the channel. But really, what I need at the moment is I need people to buy the book. Please let me know what you think. There's a Facebook page for it. So but I believe in transparency. So if people don't like it, tell me. I'm sure there's some literary fanatic out there that'll tell me I've done something wrong. But yeah, let me know what you think. It's only the start. So in part 1, there's going to be 5 books. Part 2, I think, will be 3 or 4 books. There's a couple of prequels in the works. So there's characters and their backstory and where they come from. And then there's going to be, ultimately, there's a finish. And it's all going to be exciting. And I think it's a great story. And we'll see what you guys think. But like I say, it's up and available now. And launched today. So very exciting. And we'll just see how it goes. At the moment, I've only got the digital version. I am working on the paperback version. That'll be out in the next few weeks. So that'll be cool. I've already had some people asking me they want some signed copies, so that's exciting. And we'll see how it goes. Now I've got some new business cards. These are pretty cool. I reckon they're pretty cool. And advertising, and that's what I'm doing now. So it's a bit of a change, but it is actually something that I've been wanting to do for a long, long time. And this is actually the culmination of many years, but a crazy story that started in my head out in the bush when I was in a very, very dark place. And now it's available for other people to read and digest, and that is very exciting. And it's very exciting. So check that out. I do apologise for not getting another YouTube channel up. I'm going to get more of them up as soon as I can. It's really tricky, but I'm doing what I can. I've got a lot going on. But thanks for watching. Thanks for everyone that comes past and subscribes. We've got some new subscribers. Thanks to everyone that buys my book. It's only $8. It's I'm just putting it out there. Thanks for everyone that does that, and I hope you enjoy it. And I'll let you know how the car goes. But for this one, it's a wrap. Cheers, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.